This is one of the very first and honestly most important decisions any founder has to make. It's the blueprint that's going to dictate your personal risk, your taxes, and just how big you can grow. We're talking about your business's legal structure. And trust me, choosing the right one is everything. So let's break it down.
Okay, so you've got it. That brilliant, world-changing idea is buzzing in your head. You're ready to start building, coding, creating, selling, whatever it is. You can already see the logo, the website, the happy customers, but just hold on for a second.
That's right. Before you even think about printing a business card, the most crucial choice you're going to make is how your business will exist in the eyes of the law. This one decision, right at the start, will impact your taxes, your personal risk, and your ability to grow down the line. It's a big deal. All right, so let's start with the simplest, most straightforward path. In fact, if you just start selling something or offering a service without filing any paperwork, guess what? You're already operating under this first structure by default. A sole proprietorship is super popular for one big reason. It's easy. I mean, ridiculously easy. There's no paperwork to file with the state, no fees to pay to get started. You just begin. You are the business, and the business is you. It's literally the fastest way to get your idea off the ground. But, yeah, that simplicity, it comes at a cost, a pretty significant one. Because if you and your business are legally the exact same thing, that means you share everything. And I'm not just talking about the profits. This right here is the huge danger of unlimited personal liability. Because there's no legal wall separating you and the business. If your company gets sued or can't pay its debts, creditors can come after your personal savings, your car, even your home. Everything you own is on the line. It's a massive risk for any serious venture. So, as your business grows and the stakes get higher, you absolutely need protection. And that brings us to the structures that are designed to build that legal wall between your business life and your personal life. This is it. This is the number one reason entrepreneurs form a limited liability company, an LLC, or a corporation. They create a totally separate legal entity. So now, if the business gets into trouble, only the business's assets are at risk. Your personal stuff is safe and sound behind this liability shield. But here's the thing you have to understand. This protection, this shield, it isn't automatic or guaranteed. If you don't respect the separation between yourself and the company, a court can actually decide that the shield doesn't exist. It's a legal concept called piercing the corporate veil, and it means your personal assets are suddenly right back on the table. Let's look at a real-world case. A cautionary tale, really. Woodruff Construction. So the owner of a corporation took on a contract, but he couldn't get the job done. When his company got sued, the court looked into how he was running things and found some critical mistakes. He was paying his personal bills straight from the business account and completely ignoring corporate rules, like holding formal meetings. Basically, he was treating the company like his own personal piggy bank. And the consequence for being so careless? The court pierced the corporate veil and held him personally liable for the entire judgment against his company. He had to pay $400,000 out of his own pocket. That liability shield he thought he had, poof, it just vanished. Okay, so as the business evolves, its needs change, right? Maybe you need to bring on investors, or maybe you have a much bigger mission in mind. This is where we get into the different flavors of corporations, the alphabet soup of business structures. So what's the key advantage here? It's all about growth. If you want to raise serious money from investors, we're talking venture capital, angel investors, or even going public one day, you almost always have to be a corporation. It's the only structure that lets you issue stock, which is really just selling tiny pieces of ownership to fuel that massive growth. Now, this table breaks down the two main ways corporations get taxed. On one side, you've got the C Corp. This is what you think of for big public companies. The company pays taxes on its profits, and then shareholders pay taxes again on any money they get. It's famously called double taxation. Now, the S Corp was basically designed to avoid this. The profits pass through directly to the owners, and they just pay taxes once on their personal returns. Sounds great, right? Well, the trade-off is that S Corps have a lot more rules. You're capped at 100 US-based shareholders and can only have one class of stock, which can really limit your investment options. You know, the traditional corporate structure legally obligates its leaders to do one thing above all else: maximize profit for shareholders. But what if you want to build a business that also values its impact on the community, on its workers, and on the environment? What then? Well, that's where the B Corp comes in. This is a special certification for for-profit companies.
A B Corp is legally required to consider the impact of its decisions on all stakeholders, not just shareholders, but also employees, customers, suppliers, and the planet itself. It's a whole new model that literally bakes a purpose-driven mission right into the company's DNA.
A perfect, and I mean perfect example of this is Bombas. The co-founder, David Heath, saw this quote and built an entire company around solving that problem. For every single pair of high-quality socks they sell, they donate a specially designed pair to someone in need. They've become a wildly successful company because their mission and their business aren't separate things. They are one and the same. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, right? We've gone from the lone freelancer just starting out to the massive mission-driven enterprise. So how in the world do you choose? Let's try to break it down into some simple business personas.
So which of these sounds like you? The sole proprietorship, that's the freelancer's go-to. It's fast, it's easy, but it is high risk. The LLC, that's the flexible protector, giving you that liability shield without all the corporate headaches. The S-Corp is the small team's choice, perfect for getting those tax benefits, but with some limits on ownership. The C-Corp, well, that's the one built for scale, designed for raising huge amounts of capital and aiming for unlimited growth. And finally, the B-Corp. That's the mission-driven model where profit and purpose meet. At the end of the day, each of these structures is a different tool, a different blueprint for a very specific kind of future. Your choice isn't just some boring legal formality, it's a statement. It's a statement about what you're building, the risks you're willing to take, and the legacy you want to leave behind. So the only question left is, which one will you choose?